2025 is in the books. It's in the books. I don't know about you. I am ready to move on. I feel like the black man off of the Green Mile, the big black guy who was in prison, and he says, "Boss, I'm tired. I'm tired, boss." And that's how I feel about 2025. I am so ready to move on to the next. I want to get to the next year. I've never felt like this in my life. This is the first time in my life I was actually happy to get past Christmas. Usually I look forward to Christmas so much and I don't want it to be done. I was cool at being done this year because for some reason 2025 it stank to all hell, I want to just bury it and move on. And I don't know about you. I'm ready for a fresh start. I wanted to find what are the most notable events that have happened in 2025 and go through them and just trying to pull them up on AI. One thing about AI is you cannot get events that are taking place. Like, it doesn't give you good news. Even Google, which has everything at its, at its reach, it doesn't seem to give you the latest and greatest news immediately. You have to really you have to woo it. You have to hey, come on, you got to give me something. Give me at least something. I pulled something up. I was able to find something on Google that I'm going to read to you. And then I'm also going to let you know some things that in my life, what I've experienced in 2025 and why I'm ready to move on. Something I did notice recently, I just saw on X, and I trust it. If it's on X, I trust it. Whatever it says, it's the truth. It's the gospel. I saw that Snoop Dogg has become a Christian. That is awesome. That's awesome, And that goes to show you that anybody in their life, you get older, eventually, you're going to burn through everything, and in Snoop Dogg's case, he's burned through everything, but you realize there's more to it. And the bottom line of it is Christ. I mean, we all understand that. That's why everybody's like, I'm going to be praying like hell on my deathbed, I would say, I wish I would have become a Christian. Just a little anecdote for me. I wish I would have become a Christian out of the womb. I wish I was like John the Baptist, that I was a Christian, even though I don't know if he would have called himself a Christian. I don't know if that term was available at that time. But he knew the Messiah in his mother's womb, which is pretty cool. I wish that was me. I don't know if it was you. I want to get the most out of life. And because just the here and now, I know it's all about health, wealth, relationships, all that good stuff. That's what, that's what sells. That's what, people want to hear about, but at the end of the day, it's the things that we're going to carry on with us to the next chapter. I mean, the next chapter of our life is what's going to matter. Not just the next year, but the next actually when we, take our final rest. All right. So this is what Google has to say about 2025. 2025 was a turbulent year marked by geopolitical shifts, including Donald Trump's return to the U.S. presidency. Amen. Intensified conflicts, Russia, Ukraine, Gaza, but also a Gaza ceasefire and significant leadership changes in several nations, alongside historic firsts like Japan's. I was going to the next line. Alongside historic firsts like Japan's first female head of government and the first American Pope, Leo the 14th. And then we're gonna go. I was skipping forward. I was missing that whole female head of government thing. I was ready for the next line. That first American Pope, which is pretty significant. That's pretty cool. We got our first Pope. Even though I'm not Catholic, I think it's pretty neat that we got a homegrown first Pope. A Chicago guy. I don't want to disrespect the office. I honor to whom honor is due. I don't know your whole things about the Catholic. I have mixed emotions about Catholicism. I don't know about you. I have a love relationship, I guess. I don't know. But that was the shindig I wanted to kind of touch on, about 2025. We had peace in the Middle East, that historic event, that happened, the Gaza ceasefire, and that is moving into, it seems like huge events, eternal significant events that are happening in Israel. And there's just this major drift and this disconnect with people in Israel. Israel is becoming much more of a hot topic. People are getting more and more divided over it. And what is happening there is very significant, especially with Donald Trump's relationship with Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel, the government there, that there has never been a president they have loved more in Israel than Donald Trump. Say what you will. I'm happy about that. I know people don't want to get involved in a lot of that stuff, and I think we do need to take care of our own, but that relationship with Israel is super unique. And the longer that we have that, the better it is. I'm not saying that Israel needs to control our government from the inside, and manipulate us or anything like that. But they are our greatest ally. They are. I know that's cheesy and stupid. It sounds stupid, but it's not. It's not. It's not. It's a good thing that we have good relations with Israel. They are the chosen people. And I don't care what you say. You want to say like, oh, that was just the biblical thing. That was about the Old Testament. And now who is this phony government over there? They call themselves Israel. They are Israel. Call it what you will. They are. They are. Even though they don't look perfect. And I think if you looked at the Bible, they're not perfect. They're never perfect. I think we understand that. And then also, I mean, that very noteworthy event of Charlie Kirk's assassination that happened this year on 9/10 and everything that has transpired from that. And as we get into next year and we get closer to the trial that's going to happen with Tyler Robinson and everything that's gone on with Candace Owens, that is falling apart. Candace Owens' whole charade and thing that she's doing, she's probably pulling out some gems, getting some insight. Because there probably was something going on. Obviously, there's something went down, that it happened too nicely and conveniently. If it was just this guy, a lone shooter, I understand that. But the way she's going about it and just dragging everybody's name through the mud and just leaving chaos and wreckage behind her is something I know. What she brought up about Fort Huachuca or whatever it is, that place that fort that's down in Arizona, that has completely just turned her most ardent supporters against her. She is not at all. She's lost a lot of steam by that because her most famous supporters, the people who have been with her, from the beginning, it locked in with every episode, with everything that she said. And for them to start turning on her, I'm thinking of that Evan Kilgore, him specifically. And I know I'm going to dive into more deeper in 2026 of him as well as other people that have been there along for the ride, on the edge of their seat, watching everything that she said. And now she turned against them first because they called her out on something very subtle. And now they're like, their eyes are becoming opened of what she's doing. And now they're going to be able to just, rapid fire, be able to say all these things about her. And having your best supporters turn against you on this is not good, especially when you're saying everything out of both sides of your mouth, because she said a lot of things that aren't, I know you want to stick as closely as possible to the truth, but when you're saying so many things and then you have all this web of things that contradict and that don't line up, it's hard to keep it straight. And I know that's what she's struggling with right now. I don't know about you, but I am ready for 2026. I'm ready to move on with life. I don't want to see 2025 again. Anything that I see in the past, if I see an email from the past, it makes me want to throw up. I hate the past. I want the future. I want the new. I want to gain and get wisdom and learn from the past. I don't want to just go through it for nothing. And I always struggle. I don't know about you, but I always struggle. If I could go back and change anything, if I could go back and do it over, hell no, I wouldn't want to do it over. But I might. It's like, would you learn the same things? Would you have those things in your head? Would you be the same person you are if you hadn't gone through them? And that's where I needed my head to be smashed in so that I might learn something. And maybe that's why I went through that. Maybe that's why I did that thing. Maybe that's why I screwed up, gigantically, whatever it is. And I don't know about you. We have things. It's a life learning lesson. We're being tested throughout life. And it's so that God is shaping us. He's conforming us to the image of his son so that we are heaven ready when we're called home. All right. I hope you all have a great New Year's Eve and bring on 2026. Everyone stay safe out there.